Hi traders, this is Forex Nelson and I'm back again today with another training video for my Easy Trader system along with the Super Signal Indicator. Today's date is August the 14th and the video will be 20 to 30 minutes long approximately, somewhere in there. Now this video will be like how to trade, and we're focusing now on the New York session. For me, it's right where this vertical line is. I'm in front of the computer putting together my daily trade plan actually 2 hours before the New York opens, which is right here. So every time you see an arrow, it's the candle before it that is the signal. And then let's go with this one here. It's the candle before, and then as soon as the next candle opens right here, you'll see the arrow, get an audio alert and a pop-up box just like this, either buy alert or sell alert. Now the super signal, as I mentioned before, I leave this filter on false as I want to see all the up and down arrows. If you put it on true, of course, it'll only show buy arrows above the 50 and sell arrows or red arrows below the 50 EMA. And you can make this whatever type of moving average you so desire. Any changes you make in here, remember to save the template. And these distance for the up and down arrows, if it's a little bit too close or too far away, you can adjust it. And of course, if you want it to go to your cell phone, turn that on true. If you want it to go to your email, turn that on true. And then you just follow the instructions on how to send it to both those different locations. Just press OK, and then you're ready to go. And if you want all these alerts and pop-ups and everything, you can just turn the auto trading on. And of course I have it set on default of 30 pips stop loss, 100 pip take profit. You can adjust that, whatever you adjust it to, press OK, and don't forget to save the template. Now keep in mind that template number 1 is with the meter here. Now once we get into futures, I remove the meter as it doesn't work on futures, so no meter is number 2 here. And of course, if you're going to use this built-in tester down here, this down here, then you can use the template, the one without the meter, number 2 here, as you don't need the meter. So, and if you have any of my other systems, I go into great detail at how you can use this tester for back testing over the weekend when the market is closed. So now we can get into a bunch of trades. I'll be doing a lot of forex pairs and a lot of futures. So London kicks in, makes a move. As I said a few times, what's the magic word? It's pullback. And of course, what you want to see is price action. Now if it goes too far above the goal line, you can go to the 30 minutes here. And then on the 30 minutes, it's bang right on the goal line. So as a general rule, for me anyhow, if it's too far past the goal line, I go to the 30 minutes. And then I see hesitation candles here. I can go back to the 15 minutes. There's all your hesitation candles. Now this is your trigger candle. And then your arrow pops on. Just wait for this bit of a pullback. This is your stop, 8 or 10 pips or so. You're risking, and away it goes. Now if everything is red down at the bottom, stay in the trade. And you can actually stay in a trade until you get a blue buy, like an up arrow, like over here. But, I don't know about you, but at 110 pips or so, I would be happy with that. And I'm not going to bother waiting for the, even though there's an up arrow here, but many times it'll make a move, bit of a pullback, make a move, bit of a pullback. Another pullback is here, here, and here. So whenever you're happy, I'm happy at a certain number of overall pips and ticks. And at that point, and I'm usually aiming for 200 or more pips and ticks, I'll be closing out the trade sometimes over here. And I would be very happy with, somewhere around 50 pips. So, it's your decision as to when you want to close the trade. Okay, moving on to Euro CAD. Now both the Euro and the Canadian dollar is open right through, London closes here and New York is 5 p.m. New York time. So I'm just waiting for the pullback. That's the magic word. From here to there is a pullback. Once I see it stalling out, TZ is at the top. Remember, this is the TZ indicator. TZ stand is short for trigger zones. So once it hits the top, timing is turning red. That's your trigger candle. And on the open, which is right here of the next candle, I always say, what's the magic word? Pullback. And what's the golden rule? Take the trade right on the goal line. 1, 2, 3. Take the trade. Stop is about 7 pips, 10 or 20 or whatever is okay with you. As you can see, it didn't go hardly anything against you. And it did bottom out here with well over 40, 45 pips. Moving right along. Let's see. Let's try Euro. I won't be able to do all of these, and I'm going to stop the Forex at 15 minutes, so let's try the Euro New Zealand. It moves a lot more. Look at this, 238 pips. This happened to be right here. There was high impact news on this day. Make sure you keep an eye on the calendar at Forex Factory, and make sure you keep an eye on this meter. Now the calendar, you want to be, you don't want to be surprised by high impact news. But as a general rule, news comes out, bounces around, and just carries on in the direction of the what my system is saying. Now, if the daily trade plan said to sell, I would just have a down arrow right here manually. System doesn't produce it, so just pop in a down arrow. Wait for the pullback and then get in. So if you pull the trigger right here or here, news came out and it did go 54 pips against you. So you got to be aware that high impact news on some days you'll get this effect. It'd be a lot more than 10 or 20 pips. If you want to wait till after the news, you can get in on these two candles, or you can put another entry if you want. Nice smooth sailing all the way down for a lovely 140 pips. I think I'll pass on this euro dollar. It's every day you're going to get a lot of trades. Let's get into some pound pairs now, as I have to move right along. So London kicked in. Here's the pullback. Remember, the magic word is pullback. And I find that on the 15 minutes the charts always look nice and smooth. But if this price action goes up to about here, go to the 30 minutes and then it'll become smooth again. And okay, so price action starting to hesitate with these dojis and spinning tops. Bullish, bearish engulfing candle. There's your trigger candle. Now, if you're an aggressive trader, take the trade here. If you're a conservative trader, this is your signal candle. On the next candle, as soon as it turns red, take the trade. Now the difference between conservative or aggressive on this one is 23 pips. I find on the Forex it's usually 10 or 20 pips, and on the futures can be 20, 30, 40 pips or ticks. Could be a lot more. So if you pull the trigger about here as an aggressive trader, stop is only 10 pips, did bottom out here at 70, and I don't know about you, I would just grab 50 to 70 pips, and I'm not going to worry about trying to grab another 17 pips. I don't always try to make a habit of trading within the first 1 to 3 hours when the market opens. So either here or here, and of course pound Aussie is pound Aussie is around the Aussie, I think it's around 8 or 9. You'll notice that between 9 and 10, here's another very good tip, between 9 and 10. Yes, that is correct. Aussie, New Zealand, great time to be trading. Asian, right in here. And I'll be making that point on the next video. And of course, keep in mind, at 7 o'clock, which happens to be right here, all the yen pairs can easily start to move at that point in time. Just watch that, I believe it's the next video, Asian session. Moving right along, all these pound pairs are all repeating the same thing over and over. I think I'll go with I can do 2 more. They're all very good. Pound CAD, pound Swiss. I happen to like pound yen. So let's look at this one. Remember, if the arrows are a little bit too far, it's because the digits are a little bit different. See how the digit is last 2 here, and whereas the euro dollar, pound dollar, there would be 4 digits after. There would be 4 digits after the period. So anyhow, that doesn't bother me one bit. So London kicks in. That's your sell signal candle. And then on the next candle, you'll get the audio alert pop-up box. Now, this is London, and this is New York. So any kind of a blue candles pullback. Now, this is a good one to show as an example. I just bring this tiny little cursor. Follow me right here, right in the bottom left corner here. Now, this thing is called Fix Chart Position. Left click, drag and drop. Right here, and then you can drop it down to the 5 minutes, and then these candles right here will be closer to the gold, which is what I do. When I see blue candles, all I do is drop it down to the 5 minutes, right at the right hand edge, and we're just waiting for the data to load. Here it is. There's your pullback here and here. You want to be touching minimum this 10 moving average, or in the T area. Remember, T is spelled TEA, which stands for trade entry area, between here and the goal line. So you can take the trade here, 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 anywhere through here. Your stop is always just go a little bit above the goal line. So we're looking at 15 pips, and it did max out with 60 pips. Not too bad. And so, like I said, if you ever want to see it closer to the goal line, just drop it down to the 5 minutes. And remember, if you're back in the history, back testing, don't forget this little cursor here. Moving right along, pound New Zealand. Remember, the market is closed. It's only 2:30 on a Sunday. It opens in another 2.5 hours. So anyhow, here's the time that I'm in front of the computer. Remember, I'm doing my daily trade plan. You must have some kind of a trade plan. You want to be knowing if you're buying and or selling. So my situation on this day, the goal line is going down. My daily trade plan says to sell, and here it is right here, pound New Zealand. Look at this. If there's 5 or 6 of these time frames, then I indicate that it's preferred. So we're looking for a sell, very, very strong for shorting. Wait for the pullback. Now myself, this is what I do to remind me, because I'm looking at a lot of instruments here. So I wait for the pullback right here. That's the magic word. As close to the goal line as possible. Let's say I pull the trigger on this candle as soon as it turns red. There's my stop, 14, 15 pips. And it did bottom out here with around 80 pips. Not too bad. Now we can get into some futures. Let's see, crude oil. I want to do, don't have enough time to do them all, but let's start with this one. Crude oil pays $10 a pip, tick. It's ticks, remember it's ticks. So London gave a push, pull back to the trade entry area, either here or at the goal line. So if you get it here or if you get it here, there's not a big difference. It's only 6 pips. And so wherever you pull the trigger, here or here. Stop. Well, if you happen to pull the trigger here, you got to go to the bottom of this blue box, which is around 30 to 40 ticks. You're risking. Now, of course, if you get in on the goal line, it's less. It's 24. And it did top out all the way through here, around 250. If you did one standard lot times $10, that would be $2,500. Now you know why I love trading. All these, some are more favorites. Like, I'll just let you know the ones I really like. Going in order. Number 1, DAX 30. Number 2, NASDAQ. Number 3, well, you can flip a coin, but let's go with Russell, oil, gold, and the other ones I trade if I see a trade set up, but they pay less, they move less. You know, some traders love the S&P 500, but it only pays $5. 30-year bonds, $5. Now, silver doesn't move a lot, but it does pay $50 a tick. NASDAQ is $20 a tick. Dow is only $5. Gold, $10 a tick. Now, we can talk about this DAX 30. So, running a check on this DAX 30, as I mentioned, it does pay $3.75 for each tick. Here's the vertical line. We're at 6 o'clock in the morning where I'm in front of the computer putting together my daily trade plan. So you must wait. In other words, don't buy here because look at that. This is well over 900 ticks. So wait, be patient and wait. That's the magic word. Pull back. Pull back. Get in at the goal line here or anywhere through here, here, or here, or here. Let's say you get in around here. Stop should be here. Now remember, this is 200 ticks. So don't be scared about the 200 ticks because you're going to get a lot. Now if you take the trade, say anywhere around here or over here, now the magic number for doubling your account is 1334. In other words, once you get to around here on this candle, 1,334 ticks. If you do one standard lot with a $5,000 account, your account's going to grow from $5,000 to $10,000. Now you can do the exact same thing with a $500 account, except instead of doing one standard lot, you're going to do one mini lot. And you'll double your $500 account in one trade. So remember, getting in the trade, waiting for the pullback is close to the goal line. That's aggressive. And conservative is when you get the signal and then the next candle. So the difference from there to there is like 260 some ticks. So keep that in mind. You have to make a decision. Are you aggressive like here, here, and here, and here, or conservative a little bit further on, like here? That's 200 ticks faster you're getting into the trade. And once the market picks a direction, more often than not, it's going to keep going in that direction. Not 100% guaranteed, but just get in the trade and keep an eye on it to make sure it's going, in your direction. Moving on to gold now. 6 a.m. I'm in front of the computer, and this is the pullback right here. Came back and touched the moving average. So that's your entry. Stop is about, it's only 12 pips. You ignore the last digit. To the top up there is over 100. To the top up there is 132. Entry 1. If you want to do another trade anywhere around here. And in real time you can drop it down to the 5 minutes. And these candles here would be closer to the goal line. So even if you take the trade around here, that's still giving you 80 ticks. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's move on to see how much time we got. I think we have a bit of time here. Let's check out this Dow. So this was last Friday, obviously, because that's where the candles are ending. So we're waiting for the pullback. Remember the magic word pullback? Take the trade anywhere around the goal line. All through here, 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 here. So you're getting buy signals. Price action is above the goal line. Goal line's working its way up. TZ is coming from the bottom. That's what you want to see. The trigger zone goal line down here, this indicator, goes down and then starting to go up. So get ready, get set, and that's your trigger right here. If you're a conservative trader, you're going to pull the trigger here. And of course, aggressive will be anywhere from here to here. Obviously, if you pull the trigger here, this is a much, about 30, let's see, you need about a 30 pip stop. And if you're waiting for the signal, it's going to go a lot bigger. That's like 70. But no matter where you get in at, just make sure you give it some room to move, because these futures, they do move. And of course, all the way to the top up there is well over 300. And just to do the math in my head, it pays $5 a tick. So if you did one standard lot, that would be $1,500. And now I would much more prefer to be doing NASDAQ. Now the NASDAQ does pay $20 a tick, much more. So once we establish the fact that we want to be buying, according to my daily trade plan, I would put an arrow in. So wait for the candles, everything to line up. Down at the bottom here, from red to blue, that's your signal. So on the next candle where that little arrow is, by the way, you can make these arrows bigger. You can do all kinds of stuff, but I don't want to see big arrows. This one's very, very clear. Get in. Stop would be about 30. Not too bad for the NASDAQ. Most that went against you was 8. That's 3. Remember, you ignore the last 2 digits. And then as it's going up, you're going to manage a trade. That's 100. Keeps going. Now, this one did not hit the magic number, which is 250. But it did top out with over 200, 210, 212. So you would have almost doubled your account. Let's say it was 200 times 20. If you did one standard lot, that would be $4,000. Okay, moving on to Russell, which pays $10 a tick. From the London, we have buy signals here. This is your pullback. Just follow the TZ down. Follow this goal line. Once you get a signal on this candle, these bars, Then on the next candle you're in, stop will be, let's see, Russell. Let's go with 20. It says 17, but 20 will hold. And it did top out here with 470. That's over 500. And if I can get 400 or 500, which normally I'd just be closing it out. And by the way, this was high impact news here. But anyhow, if you can get 500, that is enough to double your account if you did one standard lot with a $5,000 account. It would grow from $5,000 to $10,000. Moving right along now to the S&P 500. Now this one pays $5 a tick. London did a move, pull back to the goal line. Remember the magic word, pull back. Once I know I want to be buying, according to my daily trade plan, I would put an up arrow in here, follow the TZ down. When we get a buy signal right here, this would represent a conservative trader. Now it did go against you right here. Let's see, S&P, that's 63 ticks. If you get in on the goal line here, being a little bit aggressive, as soon as you start to see some blue down there along with the TZ going up, especially right here, the most that went against you was 24, which is much better. So you're risking, say, 25 pips or thereabouts, and up to here alone is well over 500 ticks. So if you take 500 times $5, that would be $2,500 if you did one standard lot. And just in case you didn't know, when it goes from this blue color to a darker blue color, it just means it maxed out. See the timing? It's maxed out at 100.000. Whereas if you go over here, it's 79.1084. So once it hits maximum, 100%, it cannot go any higher, so it remains blue. Now all you're waiting for in real time is when it goes from blue, if you're in a trade and if you want to get out, of course, when you're starting to see red here. So keep that in mind. Like buying signals and getting some red. So nothing wrong with grabbing 150 pips there, or ticks. Remember, also, like to say that Forex, I traded that for the bulk of the year, 17 years. And in another couple of weeks, 3 weeks actually, I will be trading for 18 years on September 14th. And the first 17 years, I just traded Forex. But last year, I started trading these futures. Not only they move the most, they pay the most, but if you really struggle with the pound pairs, then you're really, well, I recommend that you don't bother with these because you're going to freak out 3 times more. But once you become a good trader, I highly recommend you start trading these instruments. Silver now you'll notice that the arrow's further away because look at, there's the digits, not as many. So no big deal. All I'm interested in is the audio alert. That's what I'm looking for. And after you get the audio alert and a pop-up box saying to buy, which would be right here, and of course all through here, these are all buy signals. So any pullback here, 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 you can get in the trade, and to the top up there is 60. Let's just round it out to 60, and 60 times 50 is 3,000. And if you do that would be $3,000 if you did one standard lot. So it's 60 times 50. So and it doesn't move a lot, you know what I mean? Like it's not hundreds and hundreds in here, but it does pay $50. And if I see the beginning of the cycle and the goal line going up like this. I label this kind of stuff a great way to trade. As I teach, if you have any any system off me at all, I teach how to trade the goal line, and it's called a great way to trade. You want to see the goal line going up. These bars are above the midpoint here, right here, above the 50. So that qualifies for a great way to trade. Just wait for any kind of a pullback. Now in real time, you can drop it to the 5 minutes. And all of these candles here will be between the two moving averages. So keep that in mind. Just try it. You'll see what I mean. Just check the time. We're really going to have to speed this up. We have to wrap up this video. 30-year bonds, same thing. Waiting for the pullback here, here, and here. Does pay $5 a tick. So anywhere here, 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 here. Get in. And to the top up there is 77. And that's around 80, whatever, 86. If it was 80 times 5, that would be 40. 8 times 5 is 40. That would be $400 if you did one standard lot. Out of all these instruments, this is the one that moves. Well, it doesn't really pay a lot, but you can still trade it if you so desire. So anyhow, we're at 32 minutes. Definitely time to wrap up this video. If you have any questions, well, just get in contact with me. And of course, until the next video, good luck with your trading, and I guess we'll just see you in the next video.